Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, I'm going to give you a flip through of In the Season of Thanksgiving, the new Thanksgiving unit from Campfire Curriculums. If you haven't checked out Campfire Curriculums yet, you have got to do that. You can find them on YouTube at Campfire Curriculums. Of course, you can find them on the internet. They're also on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll be sure to leave their Facebook page, which is the Campfire Crew, and their Instagram handle so you can find them. But this is their newest Thanksgiving unit, and I was so excited that I haven't even put it in a binder yet. I just wanted to get it out here for you to see it so you can get it in time for Thanksgiving. Now, when you go to their page, you're going to see that they have two Thanksgiving units. They have this one, which is In the Season of Thanksgiving, and they also have In the Season of Giving Thanks. Now, they both complement each other, meaning you can buy them both and do them both. They both include 3 age groups instead of 5. So you're going to have an advanced learner, which is your high school and adult, which is what this book is. You're going to have your growing learner, which is suggested for 3rd through 8th grade, and the early learner, which is pre-reader to 2nd. So you're going to find that in both of those Thanksgiving units. So let me tell you just a quick rundown of the differences between the two. You can also find this information on their Facebook page and on their website. It explains the difference between the two units. But in short, In the Season of Giving Thanks is all about traditions and gratitude, and it also includes a Thanksgiving planner, and it's meant to kind of be done by Thanksgiving. Whereas this unit here that I'm going to show you today, In the Season of Thanksgiving, is 100% living book format, which is amazing, and it has a high historical focus. It's filled with hands-on activities, recipes, and games, and it actually could be continued past Thanksgiving. So if you want more information about how they compare, what's in both of them, definitely go check out their Facebook post about it. There's a terrific write-up about it, and you can also find it on their website. But let's get into this flip through. So this is In the Season of Thanksgiving. And this is the Advanced Journal. So like all of their units, they come with a note about how things work, and you definitely want to stop and read this if you've never done their units before. But this talks about how they teach through a living book format. That's something that just sounds like a story, but is actually teaching a lesson in disguise. And it also talks about how their methods inspired by Charlotte Mason, and here's more details. This talks about how you can do Campfire Curriculums, most basic, middle of the road, and all in. This talks about, since it's a holiday unit, it's split into 3 groups, and that there's no teacher's manual. It tells you exactly what you need to do. Okay, so make sure you read that. On the back of that page, it has optional items needed that you might not already have on hand. And then this is a list specific to growing and advanced journals. So you definitely want to check that out if you are a planner and like to have things ahead of time. All right. And then this is just the All Rights Reserved page here. Okay, primary sources. So where do they get all of their information? That's going to be there. And then this is the important page. It even says on lesson 1 that before you get started to please read this page. This is going to tell you a couple of things. So it says, for those who want the happy Thanksgiving story that ends in the Pilgrims and Natives feasting, you can complete lessons 1 to 9. For those who want the more raw but also extremely interesting full picture and aftermath with the actual Thanksgiving proclamations, then you can do 1 through 9 and the bonus lessons 10 to 15. But it does say that parental discretion is advised in the bonus portion. So you can decide if you want to go all the way through it or stop at 9. And this talks about all of their sources here. Then you have a links page. This is for those who prefer to print their units and therefore cannot click the link without hassle. This is a quick reference for all of their videos that are mentioned. And then here is your table of contents. So as you can see, you do have 15 lessons. Then you have extra, A Strange Tale of Thanks, but it does say do not begin the unit without reading page 6, important. So you're talking about all kinds of things. I'm going to leave it here for just a second so you can get a really good glimpse of what is inside of this. You can also see this page on their website. And here's lesson 1. Of course, the artwork is beautiful in all of their units, and it is in this one too. So lesson 1 starts with a story of late November 1620. You have your faith talk built in here. This says, consider it. Allow all ages to print, cut the character pages in the appendix and fill them out while the lesson's read, and we'll show you those at the end. You can also leave them intact, whatever you want to do. So it is told like a story. It tells you how to pronounce certain words, which I'm going to need. You do have some bold-faced words. Has definitions. Has your video that you can watch. So you've moved into winter is approaching. And then you have an activity option. Again, these are optional. You don't have to do this, or if you find something else, that's okay too. This just talks about picking some tall grass to turn into rope. You can watch a video tutorial about it. And then you have a faith talk. Here's all of your lessons learned in less than 30 minutes. This is all the history, geography, and social studies that you've covered. And it also talks about your learning styles that were used in this lesson. And you can stop here if you want to. If you want to continue going and learn more, which is what we like to do, we do the core connections, and I'll show you those. So for this lesson, and this is a little different, some of their units, the core connections, are at the end of the whole unit. These are built in at the end of the lesson, and I kind of appreciate that. I don't have to flip back and forth. So this says this unit already includes history, geography, social studies, critical thinking, and faith and Bible. So they're going to connect the other school subjects like science and health and language arts. So, and your reading can come from the book list. So this is your science and your health here. And then here's your language arts. So this talks about, have you ever tried to read words in another language, or maybe even a translation of the Bible that you're not used to? Sometimes even words written in English can feel as confusing as words written in a foreign language. And so you're talking about communicating. During this unit, you're going to be looking at the words from some actual documents from that time and comparing them to how we talk today. And then you're on to lesson 2. So another activity option, but this one's highly recommended. So you can use this link here. You're reading about strangers. This is a skip if you want page. This is something that's included in a lot of their units. I personally don't like to skip them because, again, that's just more information I can share with my son. But if you're needing to just quickly do a lesson and you don't have the time, you could always come back to it. But these are awesome pages, but you can skip them if you like. And then the lesson just keeps going. Just going to let you see some more of the pages here. Here's the terms of agreement recorded by the English. Here's an optional activity, and then you have a think tank and another stopping point. And then here's your core connections, your science and health. This is talking about being a vegetarian. Would have been pretty challenging in 1621. It talks about protein, B vitamins, and omega-3. And then you're on to your language arts again. And here's lesson 3. But then. Fun facts. Activity suggestion is to make an arrowhead. Here's another skip if you want page. This is a pamphlet. Well, I can't even talk. A pamphlet published in 1622 by John Bellamy. Then you have your think tank and an activity option of become your own historian. And then all of your lessons learned for lessons 2 and 3. That is so much. It is so much. And then here's your core connections. You're looking at synonyms, modern words. Lesson 4, preparing for battle. So it says before beginning the lesson, consider listening to traditional drumming and singing, and it has you a place where you can go listen to that. an activity pause. So this says, this talks about turmoil. So you're going to choose 2 people at a time to play a game. And it gives you all the information for the game here. And then your think tank. Core connections for science and health. And then your language arts. This talks about William Shakespeare. Lesson 5 is you're getting back to your story here. So you just keep reading this to your child. I love the way it's in a living book format. Some more definitions. See what the Mayflower looked like. This is another activity option. This is a celebratory game. And I'm definitely going to have to look up how to pronounce a lot of these things. Thank goodness for Google, right? And then here's your faith talk. And it's worded differently in each journal, but it has the same concept. So you'll want to check that out. Then here's another skip if you want page. It has an interesting fact. And then more food for thought. And this is all about the Mayflower Compact. And you can stop there, or you can continue on with the core connections. Science and health, and then your language arts. Lesson 6, here's an activity option suggestion. Consider making a special ornament, jewelry, or other gift to give someone in your family to keep for years to come. Use it as a memory of this Thanksgiving and each year that passes. That's so sweet. So you're just going to continue reading the story. Then you'll do the think tanks, and this is continued, and then your stopping point. And your core connections. Lesson 7, back to the story. Wonderful pictures here. Here's an activity option, make an oil lantern. Trying to let you see what it has. You've always got activity options and faith talks. Talking about corn. The celebration continues in Lesson 8. This talks about John Carver here. This talks about the cranberry ceremony, and so it has some recipe suggestions, and really food is an excellent way to really make those connections for your kids. And this is all about potatoes, my favorite food. Some language arts. Lesson 9 is about Squanto. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do this unit. I'm really excited about it. More activity time. This is activity suggestion number 2. Don't feel like you have to do it all. Don't feel like you have to do it for 20 to 30 minutes and stop. Do what works for your family. That's what we always do. Whoops, I skipped a page. I'm sorry. So it's about squash. All those yummy Thanksgiving foods. Here's the twist. Now, here you go. It says this next section is completely optional. For those who want to end on a completely happy portrayal of history, you can stop here. But for those who want the good, bad, and ugly with more perspectives and continued storyline, you can continue on to the bonus section that follows. Both sections are completely accurate and based on primary sources. So, there is a warning. So here's lesson 10 if you're going to get down in the nitty-gritty of it, which is what I want my son to know. I want him to know the real story. This is rewinding to the first day of the feast. So again, it's just that story. You have activity time, table setting, think tanks, and faith talks. Lesson 11, a decade gone. Back to the moment, a murder. The vile were among them. 2 years later. Some more activities. Oh, lesson 12, retaliation. Conflict among the settlers, the witnesses, and about 40 years later. And then the activity option is to write your own play or storyline of what you think happens next. and share it with your family. Then you have From Father to Son. Another War is Brewing. The Meeting and Split Feelings. Betrayal. Lesson 14. Says pause and share. Did they make the right decision or the wrong one, and why? This is As Recorded in the Records of Plymouth. The War, and this says parental discretion is advised. You may wish to read and summarize for younger or sensitive children. Find all the important places on the map. What's next? In Choosing Sides, it says parental discretion should continue. More think tanks. And here's Lesson 15, Massachusetts Bay, 1792. The Civil War. This is the proclamation by the President of the United States of America. And then here's the appendix. So there is a strange tale of thanks. Booth killed Lincoln and Booth saved Lincoln. So you can read this to your child. This is very interesting. This is something I did not know as I was looking through it. And there is a book list that's optional, meaning you do not have to run out and buy any of these books to enjoy this unit. You can enjoy this unit, just open and go. But if you want to have other books around your house, they do include a book list. So they have them listed for early learner, growing learner, and advanced learner. And then these are the character cards. It says that you can print and cut them out, or you can leave them intact to use just like a reference sheet. But your students can do this to keep their hands busy during a lesson. But it also helps them remember the characters. And so it has the character's name, and it has a little bit of information about them, and they're just going to draw a picture of them. So they could look it up, they could find a picture and cut it out and paste it on here, whichever one they wanted to do. And so you have all of those cards, and then that's the beautiful back cover. So this is the newest unit from Campfire Curriculums. These are holiday units, so they are not available all the time. So you need to keep that in mind if you're wanting to get this the holiday time. And I'm sorry, it looks like such a mess right here. The holiday time is the time to get them because they're not going to be on sale all the time. It's really just in the season of it. So definitely run and check this out if this is something you want to do in November. Remember, you can do both of the holiday units together if you want to, or you can just do one like we are. If you have any questions about Campfire Curriculums or anything having to do with homeschool, make sure you leave it in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.